Hello, everyone. Look what the humidity is doing to my hair. There's no way to control this. Let us, unless it all just fuzzles up. Unless I, put something like cream on it or whatever. I'm not going to do that. Anyway, there you go. That's my summer do, hairdo. Uh, I'm watching the little one today. Well, I have all my grandchildren coming as well. And yesterday, the Adventure Maniacs that have been together now. This is the fourth year, which is my oldest granddaughter, my grandson, my younger granddaughter, and my youngest granddaughter now. Yes, for the second year, and a good friend of my grandson's, another boy his age. We were all together yesterday, and it was a blast. We had a great time. I did have to remind the boys, they were in the pool by themselves for a while. Now, remember, these sides probably are not going to hold up with the roughhousing you guys do. And so, explained, you got to keep all the jumping and I don't know what in the middle of the pool and not bang against the walls of the pool, yes? Anyway, they did good. It was mayhem in that pool with those two, but they did good. The pool survived. Must be an okay pool. Anyway, then my daughter got this whole painting set with an easel and everything. She set it all up because my younger granddaughter is really into it, and my youngest granddaughter really likes to paint and draw and all that. She's only 2. She just turned 2 last month. The Okay, look, I may be a little jaded because it is my granddaughter, but I'm telling you what, that little one is so fabulous and so smart and so inquisitive and intelligent already and curious and okay, inquisitive, same thing. And curious, and she's already gives you tells you already what to do. But anyway, the easel was up, and they were just about to paint, and I'm looking, and she's not interested in the canvas that was on there to start painting or whatever. She wanted to know how this easel worked. It was one of those things that you can fold up and had all these clips on it, and I don't know what, and she had to check out every one of them to see how it works. And sure enough, she just about undid one of the things where the whole easel would have gone down. This is with her every time the same thing. She loves trying to figure out what is this, what is it for, what does it do, right? Yes. Very interesting on how she approaches things. The other day I had a toy over here for her. It's a magnetic toy that she can dress up, this and that, something for her to play here. And I had to open it and take it out of the plastic or the whatever it was in, and it was kind of hard. And I said, my gosh, this is a bit hard to get this open. Let me see it. And she says, just turned 2 last month. So she says, Grozy, go get the scissors. I'm looking at her going, how would you know at your age that actually opening this with the scissors would be way easier? Anyway, she is just, it's amazing to be around her and to see how she plays. She has a lot of educational toys, and it really seems to be paying off. Also, the kind of shows she watches, though they have fun shows too that they watch, but a lot of the shows that she watches are as well educational. For example, she watches the Little Einstein, yes, she really likes Little Bear, and there's a couple other ones that she really enjoys. And she knows the shows by name, too. So every time that we watch over there, she's like, Grozy, let's watch, for in the beginning until we had our breakfast and all that, and then get ready to go out. She says, let's watch one of her shows. And we went, no, you know better what we watch when Grozy's over here, because she gets to watch a lot of her shows over there. And she says, Survivor. We're watching Survivor. 50 seasons, right? I kind of like it. The dynamics of the people is very interesting, and and to always remember it's a game for these people. They want to win $1 million. How are you going to do that, right? Yes, it's very interesting on uh, uh, how the whole season always goes, and I love watching the contests and the challenges. Yeah. Anywho, a lot of the talk I just forward. I'm not really interested too much in that, though. Yeah, you got to know what's going on there too. Anyway, so that's what I have to share this morning, and just the summer again with everyone here, and oh, and I got a bigger bed. I got a full size bed here now instead of the twin that I had. So I moved it around so you get to see a different wall now. Yes, see, that's still there. Okay, move it like that, and move it like that. Well, I'll just keep it this way, and uh, last night they all came over here, and I had everybody here on the bed, all the children on the bed here, and we all fit, and they were just talking, and my daughter walks in, she says, oh my gosh, she says, I love this view. Of us all here on the bed. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. Okay, so let's get going here. We are in the book of Ezekiel 2. And it is so humid. It's just the beginning of June. It's very, very, very humid already out there. The pool's just great. All right, Ezekiel, the book of Ezekiel 2, the vision of the scroll. So now we're going to get to hear what the vision was. Oh, what it meant, rather. 2, he said, Son of man, get to your feet. I will speak to you. As he said these words, the Spirit came into me and put me on my feet. And I heard him speaking to me. He said, Son of man, I am sending you to the Israelites, to the rebels who have rebelled against me. They and their ancestors have been in revolt against me up to the present day. Because they are stubborn and obstinate children, I am sending you to them to say, Lord Yahweh says this, whether they listen or not, this tribe of rebels will know there is a prophet among them. And you, son of man, and do not be afraid of them or what they say, though you find yourself surrounded with brambles and sitting on scorpions. Do not be afraid of their words or alarmed by their looks, for they are a tribe of rebels. You are to deliver my words to them, whether they listen or not, for they are a tribe of rebels. Oh my gosh, okay. Really? God would take this much time to continuously say this? You know, when I have a vision, I try to really remember as well. You know, okay, what exactly happened? What did I get? Communication per se with words, it's very rare that happens. And if it happens, it's very concise and to the point and short. Yes? Because visions like that are really, really, really difficult to retain. Once they are over, you kind of sit there and you're going, oh, what just happened again? First time that happened was like, whoa, what happened? And by the time I recalled things, it was already, half of it was already gone and over. I couldn't remember. So you telling me, besides the way, in the way that this vision was described, now here, right, the prolonged introduction to what God's going to say to the rebels. Already, to me, that's not familiar. Does not sound familiar to me. That's a setup. That sounds like a setup to me. Just saying. But you, son of man, are to listen to what I say to you. Do not be a rebel like the rebellious tribe. Open your mouth and eat what I am about to give you. When I looked, there was a hand stretching out to me, holding a scroll. He unrolled it in front of me. It was written on, front and back. On it was written lamentations, dirges, and cries of grief. Okay. There's no overhead on 3, so we're going to just keep going. He then said, Son of man, eat what you see. Eat this scroll, then go and speak to the house of Israel. I opened my mouth. He gave me the scroll to eat, and then said, What? Son of man, feed on this scroll which I am giving you, and eat your fill. So I ate it, and it tasted sweet as honey. He then said, Son of man, go to the house of Israel and tell them what I have said. You are not being sent to a nation that speaks a difficult foreign language. You are being sent to the house of Israel. Not, I thought this was the beginning of what it said on the scroll, but we're not there yet. Not two big nations that speak, not two big nations that speak difficult foreign languages and whose words you would not understand. If I sent you to them, they would listen to you. But the house of Israel will not listen to you because it will not listen to me. The whole house of Israel is defiant and obstinate. But now I am making you as defiant as they are and as obstinate as they are. I am making your resolution as hard as a diamond, hard than a flint. So do not be afraid of them. Do not be overawed by them, for they are a tribe of rebels. All right, I'm still not quite getting. Are we going to get to the point here eventually, or what? Then he said, I'm just saying, there's a lot of reading for what exactly? What is this vision all about? What kind of purpose has this vision? Then he said, Son of man, take to heart everything I say to you. Listen carefully. Then go to your exiled countrymen and talk to them. Say to them, Lord Yahweh says this, whether they listen or not. Okay, we don't still know. The Spirit lifted me up, and behind me I heard a great vibrating sound. Blessed be the glory of Yahweh in his dwelling place. This was the sound of the living creatures, wings beating against each other, and the vibrating sound. The Spirit lifted me up and took me, and I went, bitter and angry. I've never been bitter, and the hand of Yahweh lay heavy on me. I have never been bitter and angry after a vision, rather the opposite, where I felt lifted up, hopeful, more faithful, amazed on how when the hand of God truly is seeking us, right? In a vision, I don't ask for visions. I really don't. When the hand of God is seeking us, that's a miracle. And it's never been because I needed to get revenge on someone, or go and tell someone how bad they were, or how much they sinned. Or it was always a very hopeful, a lesson, a good teaching lesson on how to solve things, restore things. Yes? But always with that kind love that goes with it when you are in the presence of our Heavenly Parent. And that is that. So again, what is this? Did they really have such a different God at that time? Or did they have to make a different God so that it fits their narrative? Another idol. Sounds to me that the God, Yahweh, the Israelites had at that time, due to their own behavior, misbehavior, was created by them, and not truly God. I came to Tel Aviv, to the exiles beside the river Chebar, where they were living, and there I stayed with them in a stupor for 7 days. No, it never took me that long to snap out of a vision. Dear Lord, what is this again? The prophet as watchman. After 7 days, the word of Yahweh was addressed to me as follows. Oh, he still hadn't gotten actually what he needed to tell them. Only after 7 days. Son of man, I have appointed you as watchman over the house of Israel. When you hear a word from my mouth, warn them from me. If I say to someone wicked, you will die. No. Okay. And you do not warn this person, if you do not speak to warn someone wicked to renounce evil and so save his life, it is the wicked person who will die for the guilt, but I shall hold you responsible for that death. Okay. If, however, you do warn someone wicked who then fails to renounce wickedness and evil ways, the wicked person will die for the guilt, but you yourself will have saved your life. When someone upright renounces uprightness to do evil, and I set a trap for him, it is he who will die. Since you failed to warn him, he will die for his guilt, and the uprightness he practiced will no longer be remembered. But I shall hold you responsible for his death. If, however, you warn someone upright not to sin, why would you need to warn someone that's upright not to sin? They're already upright, so they're not sinning. This is weird, right? Yes? And this person does not sin, such a one will live. Oh, okay. Thanks to your warning. Oh my God, they're already upright. And you too will have saved your life. So, this is very interesting. This is I'm going to consider this the end. The 4 starts again somewhere in the middle. But it has an overhead here, so I'm going to wait. Let's do 3. Interesting on how this is kind of I've had a conversation one time with someone. They had a church and Grace of God or something, and they were nice people. As a family, they had quite a few children. They were grown. They were older than my children. I think a couple of them were still teenagers, a couple of girls in the 17, 18. And they already did quite a bit of witnessing and all that. They're very sweet girls. On the surface, I have to say it. It was on the surface. And then they had some older children. One of them was a carpenter, the oldest son, which ended up coming back with his family and stay in my little county for not very long, a few years, and then they left again because they couldn't make it. Yeah, but there's a reason, I think. I think that oldest son was a crook. Anywho, and I went to that church a few times. Yes, it's all right. And I noticed pretty quickly that I was not there to really hear the Word of God. I was there to become a part of their community. That's what they wanted. Paying part of their community is always favorable, right? So, I had them come visit, and I caught one of the girls, their teenage girls, talking to my children in a way that I had to say, whoa, wait a minute, what's with that indoctrination going on here while I'm not there? And I knew my kids well enough. My kids are just polite, this and that. They have a good, solid foundation of faith and in their own ways, and that's good enough for me. And I stepped in. I said, what are you doing? I told my children, I said, you guys go on. Need to talk to her. I said, what are you doing? She says, well, they need to know about God. I said, they do know about God. Yeah, but they're not that's by the devil. I'm going to, whoa, wait a minute. Anyway, I said, look, I said, don't ever, you're more than welcome here, but don't you ever come into this house again to try and tell my children, and not me, doing it while I'm not there, and try to indoctrinate my children with something that I may or may not agree with. And so there it was. She got all kind of, whoa, okay. I said, yeah, don't do that. She left. It took a little while, and her mother showed up a few days later, and I said, yeah, it's good that you're coming. I need to talk to you. And I said, let me ask you something. I said, have you always been in the faith that you are in now? She says, oh, no, I grew up, had a different faith growing up with my parents. I said, yeah, I did too. Yeah, and then I found my way. She says, oh, no, your way is not right. I said, but yours is. Though you left your original faith and found another faith, and I did the same thing. So why is my faith lesser than yours? She didn't quite know what to say to that, and I told her, I said, don't open your Bible and start Bible thumping me here, or with Bible verses or whatever. Don't do that. I said, I know my heart to mind. I know my heart to mind towards my children, and their heart to mind quite well too. So I said, we can't keep associating with each other if that's what you're doing. It was not a talk that I really wanted to have with anyone, but I am allowed to protect my children from people that are doing sneaky things. Not saying that maybe what they had to say would not have been good, but they did it behind my back. Sneaky people never have good intentions. They do it up front and make sure that the guardian of those children are there. Or ask beforehand. But never behind a parent's back. Right? Anywho, I can't make out much with this vision. It seems a very personal vision given to Ezekiel, which I think the gist out of it, if I want to get anything out of it, was God asking him to be the shepherd among the ones that were left behind. If Ezekiel did a good job, or again, in the way that this comes across, it sounds to me very self-serving. Why bother with upright people already that are living a proper life, like this church tried to do with our family? And then if you save them, though they've already not are doing anything wrong, then you have saved a life. And with the ones that need restoring, the rebels, it talks about, well, tell them not to sin so they won't die. And then if they follow it, then they don't die. It doesn't say they will live and hopefully restore. It sounds completely different, doesn't it? Anyway, I find it so sad. More and more I find it just sad to read the Old Testament. Yes? Because of the misrepresentation that God is getting. And no wonder so many people turn away from the Bible, turn away from faith, turn away from the best thing that is, and always will be happening in their lives. The presence of God, the Creator of it all, with His all-embracing love at all times. Strength, little miracles. That's all I have to say. May Heavenly Parent bless, protect you, guide you, embrace you with love. Eldridge, my dearest brother in faith, let's keep praying, and I will talk to you all another time.